Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
And this is Double Agents episode 6 from Theresa with Love. Watched by 0.88. The second highest watched episode of the season, Dave.
Oh, wow.
How do you like that? Yeah. I don't really know why it would. I never know if it's because there's a cool-ass trailer for the next episode or something like that, or there's just huge Theresa fans out there. We don't know.
Right? I think it's completely random. I mean, you don't know what's going to be on the episode or if it's going to be good or not.
Yeah. Let's get into the actual episode itself. Lolo questions Theresa if she's with the vets or the rookies, something like that. I don't know. It was a really weird, awkward conversation because neither one of them, it seems, knows how to talk to another human being. Like Theresa starts snapping, like, "What does that matter? What? You know?" When Lolo's like, "Hold on, why are you yelling at me?" You know. But then Lolo can't talk to Nam. You know, I don't know. This was a bad episode in terms of communication.
Yeah, because Lolo is trying to like Theresa and Nani are like twins to me, but Lolo's trying to let Theresa know, like, hey, all the vets, they don't know if they can trust you because they think that you're with the rookies. And it makes sense because Theresa, she's a vet, so she's naturally aligned herself with the vets. However, Theresa is smart enough to realize that she's pretty low on the totem pole of all of the people in that alliance. So she knows that she needs some backup. So that way she's been hanging out with the rookies as well, getting on their good side to kind of hedge her bets a little bit because she knows that even though she's a vet, they don't have her back really. So she's had to try and go out and make new alliances, and she's kind of been busted for it. But it's understandable why she would do that.
Yeah, and Lolo is considered a vet because she did play with them all in that spinoff a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. So she probably have stayed in touch, I'm assuming, because she's not putting herself with the rookies. I mean, although this is her first appearance on the challenge in terms of, you know, the average viewer, they're like, "Lolo, we've never even seen you before, and all of a sudden you're a vet now." So it was a little strange, I'm sure, from the outside, right?
Yeah.
Well, on to that, because there's bigger, better things like wanting to leave. Leo, he's like, "Hey, man, I grew up in a group home, and it's full of strangers, and you have to share the bathroom, and you hear people fart right next to you and they don't give a damn, and you know, you got to hear people's nightmares and shit." I don't know, but he's just like, this is terrible. And I wonder if it, what, you know, he grows, oh wow, this is bad, but I'm comparing a group home to the challenge itself, where it's like nothing but delinquents and misfits and horrible orphans.
Yeah, you're seeing the worst scum of society. Yeah. You're seeing people like Wes. You're seeing people like Josh. Like, it doesn't get any worse than that.
Yeah, so he wants to get going. And I just have written here, Gabby is actually kind of understanding about it. You know, she does cry and she's like, "That sucks that you have to go, but I do understand," which is a nice little twist to the usual thing where, you know, the person's like, "Oh, fuck you. You're trying to fuck my game up. Fuck you," and shit like that, you know?
Well, because this season they know if they lose their partner, they're fine. So you just get a new partner. Like, remember on Bloodlines where it's like, well, your bloodline is injured or something. Sorry, Leroy, you also have to go home because your cousin, you know, split her lip open or whatever she did.
Yeah. She had like a bunch of injuries and stuff. It was fucked up.
Yeah. So like Gabby's cool with it. She knows she's gonna get a new partner. Leo, it sucks that you had to go through that as a kid, and you know, it makes you not want to be there. At the same time, you knew what this show was and you signed up for it. So, like, come on, dude. Whoa. Like, what did you think it was going to be? It's a bunch of strangers living in a house. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe you wouldn't realize it, until you just experienced it again, and you're like, oh shit. But
Yeah. But he didn't choose to be in a group home, Dave.
yeah.
So yeah, it is interesting though. That is a good point that you sign up for this shit. He's a wrestler, right? I thought someone said like he was WWE. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's
or maybe NXT?
NXT, I think.
Okay, cool. And NXT is basically like, what would that be for the challenge? X on the beach or something like that, like a training ground to get on the actual challenge. Like, so he wasn't actually on WWE. He was under the umbrella of WWE, but NXT, TTYL, LOL, IMHO. All right, move on. Let's fucking go.
Okay, so like with Leo leaving, isn't it 4 episodes in a row now that someone has left? So
Yeah,
Leo
like
quit, Natalie, Liv to injury, and then Nicole. So there's 4 episodes in a row we've had someone leave, not because of elimination. That's not including the people actually eliminated. Like, we are burning through the people here. There's not many people left.
Natalie, yeah, jeez. Okay, well, let's get to the mission. Before that start, which is great because it's going to be a mini final. I think out of all the things that they recycle every season, I think I like the mini final the best.
Yeah, it's the best challenge. It's always my favorite episode for the most part.
Before we start, though, that's when TJ says, okay, Leo has quit, and I support it.
And everyone, TJ is super politically correct because he doesn't want to get canceled.
Well, it's not. It's no. There's nothing not being. It's not about being politically correct or not. He was always such a kind of a jerk to people. Whether I personally supported them leaving or not, it was always sort of the same thing. Like, I fucking hate. But this
TJ
time,
hates quitters. It's always TJ hates quitters.
And he always says that. He even says that. He says that in the third person. It's like, TJ hates quitters. Wear the shirt. You're like, oh God, you're worse than bananas. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. So TJ is all supportive and shit. And then everyone in the crowd, no one's saying like, TJ is usually never like this. Everyone's just like, oh, TJ.
Good old TJ.
But really,
that's a ball of hugs. Everybody knows that all the time.
Yeah, no, but TJ, I'm sure this wasn't his idea. He's all smiling and supportive, but really he's got like an ice cube he's gripping in his fist, trying to keep himself sane from like screaming out and stuff. Yeah.
But like, this is totally him being politically correct because he says, when it comes to mental health issues, get help. And then they do like a little PSA where they're like, call this number if you have mental health issues or something like that. Because remember on, what was it? I don't remember what season it was, but remember when that guy went home, I think his name was Brandon, and he left because he just wanted to be with his girlfriend and he missed his girlfriend. So he quit and he left. You know what? That was mental health too, because he missed a person at home. That's mental health. When you say mental health, anything that involves emotions is mental health. So TJ ripped him a new one, and now TJ's cool with it. So he's done a complete 180 here.
Wow. It was Rivals 3 you're thinking of, with the Brandon guy, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
Because his partner was super hot, and then she got sent home too.
No.
Right?
Yeah? I don't remember now. Fuck. Possibly, yeah. Moving on, though, Gabby is now with Devin, so they're now partners.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get on with the actual thing itself. It's going to be 5 miles long, and I think at every mile there's a checkpoint, puzzles and such. And then this is presented by P3. They're like, hey, man, if you guys win, we're giving you a little bit of almonds, a little bit of ham, and a little bit of cheese.
Yeah, you're gonna get
Because
4 pieces of cheese and 3 almonds.
have you checked out a P3 before?
Yeah, and there's like nothing in it. It's like there's like maybe an ounce and a half of food, and it costs way too much for what you're getting. It's like I can just buy cheese and like a thing of salami and a can of nuts, and it's a way better deal that way than getting those little P3. But I guess if you get it that way, it's not portable, and that's what you're paying for, the little portable package of protein. Like it's a cool idea. It's a good snack to buy, but it's too overpriced, and you're not getting enough food.
I didn't know that's what P3 stood for. Portable packaged protein. That's brilliant. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
Normally
but
it's like Burger King or something. Like that's what they've had for like the last 5 years. I swear, it's always been Burger King, and then there's everyone just eating French fries and chicken sandwiches, and it's just like I guess there isn't a Burger King in Iceland. So
oh, that sounds so good right now, though. God damn it. P3. Okay, but P3 is just like, hey, man, sure, we don't have hamburgers, or fries or soda, but we have $3,000 if you guys. Why did they change it after the mission? And they're like, that's actually $6,000 each. Why even do that? That was really weird, wasn't it?
I think MTV was just going to keep half that money for themselves. But then they read the contract and realized they're like, oh, hang on, we have to give it to the challenger. Sorry.
Yeah. They're like, you guys, embezzlement sons of bitches, man.
Yeah. Trying to keep half it for themselves.
Okay, well, all I have written down for the actual mission itself is just the teams and where they place from last, which is 11th place, to first. If you just want to like go through the teams real quick, because I really don't have too much written down here. Okay, so 11th and last place is recently reunited Anissa and Fessy. This was terrible.
Fessy is regretting everything. It's like being stuck with Anissa again. Like he immediately realized, like, this is why I wanted rid of her, because if anything, she can't do anything. She just has no endurance.
No, remember what she said. She's like, Fessy doesn't understand that this isn't the final. We don't have to win this one.
Exactly.
Rebuttal.
That's what I was just going to mention. Anissa sucks, and she's making excuses like, well, it's not the final, so I don't have to try. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me, Anissa? Like, this is why you suck at the challenge. Because you can't do it. Anissa's not choosing to do badly here. She tries to frame it that way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just not trying. That's why I suck. It's like, no, you suck because you suck, Anissa. Like, you can't do it.
They end up getting last place, but they are only maybe a few that actually get the puzzle done. So that might be of something worthwhile. Yeah, everyone else, the majority.
Out.
Exactly. All right, 10th place, CT and Big T. Oh my gosh, I told you the honeymoon might be over, but they're still fornicating. But CT is just like in the back of his head afterwards, like, hey man, I'm gonna have to do everything after carrying this big log. He's like, if I want to get a skull, so those cracks between the team, again, I don't think they're gonna stay together whatsoever. This is a doomed relationship. You
predicted it last week. Like, you're like, this team is not gonna. I was like, no, they can work together. Cause CT, but the thing is CT, who's been such a great partner to Big T, CT is fake. Like, it's all fake. Like him being nice to Big T, because once he gets into this, he's just like, yeah, Big T's, she's just a big dead weight. She's like, she can't do anything right. This isn't gonna work out. And you're just like, oh, is everything you've been saying about how like nice and encouraging. I don't know if maybe it wasn't fake. Maybe he was trying to encourage her to be better, but he's at the realization that it's not going to work out long term, and he's kind of moved on.
Right,
he's eyeing up other partners at this point.
Yeah. 9th place is Amber Triple M for and and her partner Meki. This hey, they did better than those two other teams. You know, I think severe handicap, I suppose, in both of them, but they're apparently the smallest pair there, but they ended up doing okay. You know, they end up timing out though on the puzzle. Um, Eighth place is Devin and Gabby, fresh partnership. Did you expect great things at all? Like, did any of this kind of startle you? Like, who's getting last and shit?
Um, Not particularly. Not up to this point, at least. Like Gabby, she really struggled, and she said she liked Devin because he was super encouraging the entire way, and that reminded me of the Rivals 3 final with Devin and Cheyenne. And Devin was just coaching Cheyenne the whole time, just like, "Hey, we're gonna finish this. We're gonna do it," even though they're in third place and they had no chance of getting any better. He was slowed down the entire time. But
Yeah. Anything else about
I
those
mean,
two?
like Devin had a weak partner here, but if Devin had like the best possible female partner, Devin would be the one slowing the team down. It's not like Devin is super great at these things.
Whoa. Oh shit. All right. All right. I like it. Seventh place, which was a bit of a shocker. And I think it might be controversial because maybe some people side with Nam and some people side with Lolo, it appears. Um, from my point of view, Lolo was yelling a lot and impatient, demanding, bratty. You know, basically what we've seen in champs versus pros. You know, there. You know, she's athletically gifted, but she kind of reminds me of Ronda Rousey, where she's like everything. You know, I get everything I want, and when something is minor is not going my way, I throw a huge fit. You know. Yeah, I don't know. I felt that I don't know. Lolo's big argument is that he didn't talk to me, you know, he didn't communicate and stuff like that,
And
which might have been true, but I don't know.
I like, what is Nam supposed to say? Like he's getting Lolo is just yelling at him the whole time, and what is Nam supposed to say back? Like I'm the same way. If you keep yelling at me, you just shut down and you don't even respond, because anytime he does respond, she has to either correct him in what he's saying, telling him he's wrong. It's and like especially we'll talk about it afterwards. Like when Lolo's talking about like, oh, this communication on this team is so horrible. It's like it's because of you, Lolo. Like that's why this communication sucks. Um, that being said, like Lolo is terrible at communicating with her partner, but Nam is also not doing things properly. Like he's kind of just a big dumb oaf. Like they're holding the giant log, but like Nam needs to be walking directly behind her, but he's kind of walking off at an angle. So they're not really able to keep a steady pace. But
Yeah,
at the same time, Nam is trying to do this while, like you said, he's doing the Quasimodo. He's all hunched over trying to hold that thing because of the height difference, which is a huge factor in this. When you have one person who's way taller than the other, that log is at an angle, and it's way more difficult for the shorter person because there's more weight falling on them. So that's why
yeah,
Nam is doing the Quasimodo to kind of evenly distribute the weight.
yeah. I don't know. I really sided with Nam. I was like, for the most part, I feel like what he was doing, it wasn't that bad or whatever. But they'll get into it when they get back at the house. That's when she will say like, oh, you know, and he'll say, I recommended certain ways, and you would say, no, I can't do that. So, like, they would be dismissed immediately. But let's get on to sixth place, which is another kind of a shocker. I don't know. For me, it was a little bit. Darrell and Amber B. I guess I was expecting not great things from Amber B, but maybe Darrell whipping Amber B into shape, Landon and Carly style or something like that, you know, because they've
Yeah.
been voting with each other throughout the entire season. So I thought they'd have some great unity, but they don't do as well as I was hoping. And I think Darrell's going to fucking leave her ass,
Yeah.
man.
It
Yeah.
reminded me of Darrell and Cara Maria, where it's just like, oh, yeah. It's like Darrell being slowed down by a teammate. And it's like, but this time, Darrell can go in there and he can get a gold skull and he can find a new partner. So like Darrell could match up with Lolo or Killer Cam or Casey. She's a really strong female.
That's true. Yeah, and he has that he has that moment where, spoilers, Cam gets to choose a partner, and Darrell's like, me over here. I'll fucking let's be partners and stuff. So yeah, Darrell already is divorced in his mind, man.
Yeah.
A lot of these couples are gonna make it, Dave. Right?
Yeah, no, like CT, Darrell, they're ready to move on. Corey's getting passed around like a used something. I don't know.
He's getting passed around. He's a black widow. He murders all his wives, right? On fucking what channel has all the terrible murder procedural movies or shows?
Oh,
they're
like ID channel. Or
yeah, that one. Next, in 5th place, should we be impressed or not? Casey and Leroy. I don't know. I don't know. That's 5th place. Not bad.
Not bad considering Leroy is way taller than Casey. But it's respectable. They beat all the other people. They beat Nam and Lolo, which I think Nam and Lolo, anything ahead of them was pretty good.
And consider the fact that, okay, so Nam and Lolo, it was all about bad communication, right? Casey and Leroy legitimately know they aren't really partners. They are partners, but they're just like, I'd rather, I'm still keeping you at a distance. I'm with other people. I'm with other factions and stuff. But yeah, they're able to pull it together physically, at least better than Nam and Lolo. Yeah. In 4th is this is impressive. I think Nani and Josh is I don't know. I guess Nani did very well in that one final, right? And Nani is sort of like she doesn't give up. She's not terrible. I don't know. And Josh, that's something good from Josh. We haven't seen good from Josh. This is only 4th place, right?
So. Yeah. It's very impressive for this team. I'd say that. Do you remember, did they finish the puzzle or did they time out?
No, they timed out as well, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, like, those two together, I can't imagine them being able to do a puzzle.
Basically, Anissa and Fessy passed, and then all the teams we've mentioned up until this point, including Nani and Josh, they all timed out on the puzzle.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, 3rd place, Cam and Kyle. Not bad at all. They actually got to the puzzle first, and they finished the puzzle first. That's pretty impressive. I want to say the reason why they got 3rd instead of 1st is because they're not the marathon runners that these other people are. Yeah. I think that's my assumption. 2nd place, we have Ashley and Corey, and really they should have been 1st. Remember what happened? They got lost.
Went the wrong way.
Yeah, but I feel like that's production's fault. Why can't you put signage clear, or just like straight up put a wagon or some cones in front of a road or a path that you can't take?
There was a sign and they missed it. And Ashley immediately blames Corey for not seeing it, but it's like, Ashley, you didn't see it either.
Really? Okay, I would love to see the sign. I didn't personally see the sign, but it did make me think back to that this has been common lately. Remember what's her name? She got lost during the final of Final Reckoning. Remember?
Yeah, Natalie. She didn't make a left turn. She just kept going.
And then in something, I don't know what it was, but it was Ashley Mitchell versus Nani in like the super elimination where they have to run around the jungle and stuff. And Ashley took the wrong turn or whatever, and eventually figured it out, ran back, flips off the crew because they didn't say, like, Ashley, don't go that way. It's our fault. We didn't put a sign at this T. I don't know. I just feel like it's been happening 3 times now in the past few years. So
yeah, I mean, I want to blame Ashley, but yeah, they're like there's signs like this constantly happens. Like people get lost and they don't know where they're going. It's like their signs are probably like a post-it note that's this big with a little arrow on it, and nobody sees it.
Right. Okay, so now we have first place, Jay and Theresa, which I think is just from them both having very good endurance. They're runners, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice to watch. I don't know. I don't mind Jay. I actually kind of like him a lot. And Theresa, she has her moments, so we'll just see what they do with the power, right? That's all what the rest of this episode is going to be. They're going to be like, oh, what they did. Was it good or was it really stupid, you know? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get back to the house. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Yeah?
have nothing to add. Yeah, Jay and
No,
Teresa.
come on.
Like Jay and Teresa, she's fine. I hate other people more than I hate her. So, like, I don't like her, but I hate her less than others.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, we're going back to the house. Ashley is paranoid about Theresa throwing her in, which is she's exactly right on because eventually Teresa's going to everybody saying like, "Hey, vote for Ashley. Hey, vote for Ashley." You know, she's shaking hands, you know, making deals and stuff, and then Ashley jumps in like, "What are you guys talking about?" You know,
Yeah, because Ashley's aware that she's been talking to everybody except for her. She's like, "Hey, what you talking about?"
Oh God, it was awkward because they have two conversations where Ashley's like, "Who are you gonna put in?" and Teresa's like, "I don't know." Or she can't even bring herself to say I don't know. She's like, you know, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why.
like watching Teresa squirm, trying to figure out something to say to Ashley, lying to her face. But like, Ashley was pretty mature about it because I expected her to just kind of blow up and get into a freak out fight right there, but she didn't. She kept her cool.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah, because she usually does the Camillinator type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like
Yeah.
Nani would do the same if she thinks she's going in, just total freak out mode.
Yeah. And she was kind of Nani was in freak out mode though, because she was saying like Teresa's gonna throw me in. And actually that is one of Teresa's options. It's option A once we get into the chamber or whatever. Do you wanna discuss Lolo and Nam's therapy session some more or not? I think we covered it all. I think
Yeah.
Lola and like you're a bad teammate or something like that. It's harsh.
It does look like this is another couple that's looking for a divorce.
Yeah.
You know,
But maybe they're one of those strange couples that can't technically get a divorce. What's that religion? All of them? But they do it anyways.
I thought you were gonna say because Nam is not a U.S. citizen, he can't get a divorce. But
Oh. Is that, oh, I figured if anything, it's for a green card, right? Although neither one of them are from Iceland. This relationship is doomed, Dave. Doomed.
they're nothing alike. They're both just gym workout warriors, but they have no people skills, and it really shows because like all they do is just focus on themselves. Like Nam just lifts weights and avoids reading books, and Lolo has just avoided all men for her entire life, and now oh no shit, she can't work with a male teammate. Maybe one of the reasons she's able to work with teammates in the Olympics is because they were all female. I don't know.
What was she though? What was she in the Olympics? I thought she was like a person who did like the inside thing, track and yeah.
But
Was it track and
in
field?
the Winter Olympics, she does the bobsled team,
Oh,
which is
cool
like
runnings.
a 3-person team. But I mean, what the hell are you doing? All you do is you push for about like 12 feet, then you hop in the bobsled, and then all you do is just lean in unison. You're just like, all right, left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn. Like that's it. Like there's not a whole lot of communication to be had there. So
Exactly. Yeah,
Lolo
that's why.
it's incredible, valuable experience as working in a team, and it's like, no, you're not playing football or basketball. Like that is valuable communication time in a sport, but Lolo has none.
All right, so I think we're both in agreement that they're not going to last. Who leaves first? I guess it depends on who goes in first, right? Because either one is going to leave.
Um, that's a good question. I could easily see one of them not getting to the final and not getting a skull because I don't think people want to vote them in because they're a guaranteed win. Uh, but the thing is I don't trust Nam to win a final. Like I had hopes for him to be the next Turbo, but I don't think like mentally or endurance wise he could like hack it. So
Oh shit. Okay. All
I mean,
right.
I guess people could throw him in to kind of. Somebody might throw in Nam against like a CT or a Durrell to try and get rid of him. So yeah, I mean, it probably won't be till like the last couple episodes of the season though.
Okay, moving on to deliberation, which I think previous episode I was like, why do we need them? This is one moment where I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad that there's deliberation. It should call it something else. Like, honestly, people should go up on the podium and give like a speech or something like that. Because Ashley goes up there and she's like, number one, everyone's playing this as if it's a girls' day, and that's a good point because producers have been, dealing with fuckery the entire time. And secondly, she's like, Theresa might get there, see that it's something she doesn't want to go against me with, and she'll just send one of us against me. Like we're going to get screwed. Why do we got to follow Theresa's orders? And she says, and also, there's only 5 girls and 5 guys in the final. Hey, dudes, did you see how I performed despite losing directions? Fucking, look out for me or whatever. You want me in the end. And that's when Darrell's like, holy shit, that's right. How could I never have thought it before? Like, yeah, Darrell is totally over Amber B. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine Amber B watching this episode. She's like, what the fuck?
Like everything Ashley says is completely spot on and correct. I'm like, oh, she's got a point. Like, yeah, all these guys, there's no guy who should be voting against her because, like, unless you're absolutely 100% in love with your partner, which, like, I don't like. Maybe Leroy is fine with Casey, but I still feel like Leroy wants to get with Cam for the final. But like I feel like all of the guys want different partners, and a lot of them would want Ashley to be their partner in a final. Like it doesn't make any sense for any of these guys to be voting for Ashley and doing what Theresa wants.
Well, we'll see because we could show who exactly did vote for Ashley. We'll go into the chamber. That's when Jay and Theresa sit down. They find out that the compromised agents are indeed Ashley and Corey, voted in by 4 teams: Devin and Gabby, CT and Big T, Lolo and Nam, Amber M and Meki, and Casey's the only person voting by herself. Yeah. So when Leroy said, because he started off the deliberation, he's like, I for one I'm not gonna vote for Ashley just because Theresa's gone to the whole house telling us to, So yeah. It didn't stop it though. It didn't stop it from happening. Okay, so when they are in the chamber, Theresa's like, okay, my first option is Nani and Josh. Remember when Josh was like looking at Jay? He was like, you're giving off bad vibes. Like you're gonna betray me and stuff. It could have happened because Jay was like, like he wasn't hating it. Oh, he wasn't at all. He was like, oh god. And then Nani's like, or he's like, well, what about something else? And she's like, well, Cam and Kyle, because they didn't vote for Ashley like I told them to,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's going to be a big thing later on. So yeah, afterwards, we'll get into the elimination pretty soon. We're almost there, Dave. This episode is flying by, I believe. Theresa tells Cam, she's like, straight up, I want you to get your gold skull. She's like, if
is this the conversation where it's in like the bunk bed and Theresa just comes in? Like, oh my god, this was so cringy to me, like what Theresa was doing, because she could have framed this conversation in a way where it was more organic, but instead it came off as like her giving Cam orders, like, you should go in, you should put yourself up for elimination and get your gold skull, you know? But it's like, if she was a good manipulator, she would be able to get Cam to come to that conclusion on her own without her being told to do it. So like Cam is aware of what's happening and she's not totally for it, because there's easier people Cam could go against. There's like Amber, there's Gabby, there's, you know, all that fresh meat that those rookies they'd rather face than going against a veteran like Ashley.
Cam does say, she's like, well, if it's like a headbanger, I'd go in against Ashley. But if it's not, you know, she's like, and if I'm going to get thrown in anyways, let me know first. And that was the one thing, you know, Theresa could have said, yeah, and maybe she should have told her, like, you're going in. Although I really doubt that they wouldn't have still yelled at her and like, you fucked up, Theresa and Jay, you know, like I hate it now. Like whenever anyone's put in, they're like, oh, what the fuck? I thought we were friends and shit. CT says that. He's like, welcome to the club. People lie to you. You know, like, like calm down, everybody. Okay. And then this happens again real quick before we get to the elimination. Corey walks in and he's like, hey, Jay, let me know ahead of time if you throw me in. And you have to think about it. Corey's like, I understand if you put Ashley in. It makes sense. And from what I can tell, I'll be safe. And I don't even love Ashley, even though, you know, she's a good competitor or whatever. So he was just like, just let me know, right? But I don't know. He's still upset when he's thrown in. Spoilers.
Yeah, but like Jay can't say anything to Corey. Like Corey's like, hey, let me know. Give me a heads up. But like this, if Jay says something, then Corey's gonna immediately go tell someone else. Like that's how the gossip works. Like you can't say anything if you want to keep a secret. If you want to keep a secret, you just have to lie to people and be like, yeah, I'll let you know. And then you just don't. Like it happens every time.
This scene happened. He asked him in front of a bunch of people, so he couldn't even say, you know, it was just an awkward time to do it, really. Let's get into the elimination where TJ says, he reveals the compromised Ashley and Corey. Theresa decides to not go in. Did you think she was going to go in? Did you see this happening?
No, I didn't think she was going to go in. Like, if she wanted to go in, she would have just voted for one of the rookies, you know?
Who she's kind of friends with now, right? In a way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they decided to put in Cam and Kyle. Because because TJ didn't announce it yet. So they go down there, they walk down, and then TJ's like, tonight is important, especially for the men. Remember that? And then he changes it up. And when that happened, I was like, this is stupid. I hate this so much. That's when Ashley is like flipping everyone off, and Jay's like, what the fuck? You know? And then he's like, as soon as Ashley stops flipping everyone down and then gets back in her spot, that's when he's like, because they're watching the women. I hated this whole fucking thing, Dave. I don't know.
Dude, I've been saying the last couple of weeks, the worst part about this season is them not being straightforward with, hey, this is a girls' week, it's a guys' week. Because 4 episodes in a row, someone just randomly goes home. And then you're constantly like, well, is it going to be a guys' week or a girls' week? There's no rhythm to it. So everyone's left in the dark, and then MTV is just playing into it like it's some like awesome mystery that we like. And it's like, no, just let people know ahead of time. That way they can actually strategize who they're going to put in.
Right. And I don't even like it for them. Just for me, I was like, no, I don't like this not knowing if it is a guy or a girl, you know? Like, I don't appreciate it, you know? I was just as annoyed. I was like, TJ, like, no. You try to have a personality, and maybe you do have one, but it's the wrong personality. You know, I always really yearn for like those classic hosts like Trebek and Barker. You know, Sajak.
No, Pat Sajak is not on the same level as Bob Barker and Alex Trebek.
Steve Harvey.
All right, I'll allow it. I like Steve Harvey. The guy's funny as hell.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, but oh my gosh, you know what would happen though? Like people would like, go on a mission. They're like, "Who won?" And he's like, CT and Big T. And then they're like, "Hey, you announced the wrong team." I was like, "Oh, sorry." Remember that's when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong envelope.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be called Dead. It is called Dead Ringer. You're in the middle. You're up high. You're on ropes. You have to swing tippy toe across the main thing, right?
Yeah.
And try and hook. You have 6 rings. You got to put on a hook. If you drop a ring, then you have to wait until you use all your rings to lower yourself down while the action's still happening. They didn't really explain. You're basically fucked. I felt like if you ever dropped a ring, you were going to be fucked. And
Yeah,
Ashley drops 2 of them.
Yeah, you can't even like touch the platform with your flat feet. You have to tippy toe to touch it. So it's like, oh, they're all of a sudden they're gonna loosen up the rope and let you climb down and then reset it up. No, they don't have the technology to do that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they were probably just like, she's actually really fucked if you drop a ring,
yeah.
It sucks. But that was basically it. Cam won. Yeah. Okay, finally, Cam is given a gold skull, and she has the option to either take Kyle or Corey or someone else. She keeps Kyle. I was surprised. I don't think I would have.
I was not totally shocked because I think she realizes that there's a lot of eliminations to happen and someone else is going to steal her at some point. So it would just be temporary. If she gets a new partner for this week, next week or the week after, she's just going to have another partner. So her and Kyle work well enough together. So just ride it out. Let things play out on their own.
They're also a team with both have gold skulls. I mean, Anissa and Fessy both have gold skulls, but look at who gives a fuck,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Theresa got her wish. She sent in Ashley, and then she got Cam to get rid of Ashley, which is good because it got rid of Ashley, someone who was going to vote against Theresa. However, if Cam didn't like Theresa before, now Cam really doesn't like Theresa, and it puts an even bigger target on her back. So,
Right.
Vince, was this a smart move by Theresa?
I think long term, I would rather go against Cam in a final than Ashley.
I agree.
Right. So I think overall she did the right thing. Like Jay, for instance, he tells Theresa they're seeing all this stuff happen. He's like, we're in such deep shit right now, but I don't care, And Teresa's like, yeah, we were going to be in deep shit no matter what happened, I'm glad I made this decision. So yeah, I stick with their decision. There's a lot of kind of almost like a bias, I think, because Leroy and Cam are both like, oh, you fucked up. It's coming back for you guys and shit like that. But I'm like, okay, that's the same attitude CT had. He's like, you guys have to calm down. All right. We are being forced to do this because the producers are just like, whatever. So
yeah, this has happened plenty of times where whoever is in charge, like Tori, like when Tori and Devin win, they send someone in and it pisses people off, and then the next episode they get voted in. So people, but the thing is once they get that power to vote someone in or pick someone, they generally try to make a power play and make a move. But maybe it's safer, or if you don't want this to happen, you have to, play it safe and just vote in rookies. But no one's really done that.
Finally, we have Corey is a rogue agent.
Again, every episode he's got a new partner. I don't even remember all his partners at this point.
Ashley, Natalie, Ashley, right?
I thought it was Nani in there at some point too.
Yeah, that was the end of the episode. Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Famous Dave.
But